So in terms of where we've come this past year in 2017 and where we are now at the beginning of 2018, let me just talk about a couple of things. I think the thing that's probably foremost in people's minds at this point is tax reform. That was a huge effort last year. We were very engaged in that. We here at the Association for Print Technologies focused a lot of our effort on the capital investment provisions in the bill. That would be the 100% expensing for the next 5 years. We think that's a major achievement and really will help the economy grow greatly as more capital investment is made, which we know from the economic basis for this will generate more jobs. That is a continuing story. We are going to continue to pursue that even in this new year, even post-tax reform, because with that provision limited to 5 years and then sunsetted after that, our effort will be to bring together a coalition of like-minded industries to make sure that that provision is put into place permanently. So that's a continuing project for us. There are other facets to that new tax law which are important to small businesses and printers in particular. Let's just start with the rate reduction. That was a huge reduction, corporate rate reduction from 35 to 21%. Obviously, that has tremendous economic benefit and power. There's also a provision that reduces tax rates for pass-through corporations, LLCs. We know that many of your businesses are organized that way so that you also get the benefit of that reduction. Now, I will have to put a caveat on that, however, to say that that is a very complicated area of the tax reform law, which needs considerable studying, and we would urge you to engage your own tax lawyers and accountants to understand the benefits and perhaps some of the pitfalls or areas you need to be careful of. We don't purport to give you tax advice because we don't know all the particulars of your business. We are trying to give you the kind of the general overview and the direction to look, but we do encourage you to do that extra step to meet with your own advisors. There are also things like we were successful in protecting and preserving the deduction for advertising expense. That's been in the law for years, and it could have been reduced or eliminated, as a number of other provisions were, but we were successful in maintaining that as a regular annual business deduction. Also, for those companies who are family-owned in particular, the increase in the exemption in the estate tax law is a huge benefit to the ability to pass a business on from one generation to the next. It wasn't a complete repeal, as some had hoped for, but the increase in the amount of the exemption should cover most small businesses, and so we are pleased that that was accomplished. In addition to that, there are a number of other changes that we, again, encourage you to study. There will be seminars that will explain this further. We here at the Association for Print Technologies will be planning on presenting a seminar to delve into the more particular details of the new law. Going forward beyond taxes, postal reform was another major issue for the industry, not only in the past year, but for the past number of years since the Postal Reform Act of 2006. As we know, the postal system's volume has declined steadily and rather dramatically over the past 10 years. That's a result of moving towards digital communication and the reduction in particularly first-class mail, which was the kind of mail that paid for a lot of other types of classes of mail. We don't see that changing. We're not going back to the day when the volumes were over 200 billion pieces of mail a year. So what we're trying to do is to try to help the postal system restructure its financial structure so that it can better serve the printing community and the customers of the printing community in providing mail to every household in the United States. We have legislation that started last year, and we are continuing to pursue that into the new year. We're hoping that with additional unity in the industry and an extra effort to try to get that across the finish line in 2018. So in addition to tax issues and postal reform, we are also going to be continuing to follow a few other areas of major interest for our members and other members of the printing industry more generally. Trade issues have always been important to the industry. They're going to continue to be so as we go forward. We'll be following those developments so that we can make sure that there are international markets available to domestic manufacturers. In addition to that, we are going to be looking at a couple other newer issues that are emerging and we are watching carefully. Privacy issues of various kinds are becoming a more and more point of concern. We're going to be adding that to our list of things that we're watching carefully. And then even beyond that, we welcome comments from the membership and your customers as to other areas that you would like to suggest to us that we add to our agenda of things that we can track and help you with, and especially to try to tailor and target our advocacy to your specific business needs. So we look forward to representing you in the coming year, and I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you and talk to you about the legislative and government affairs agenda for the Association of Print Technologies.